Welcome everybody to another video of Dead by Daylight. My name is Cubeproductions, and today we're using Score Merchant as always, using a really interesting build. First perk we're using is called Forced Hesitation. What this perk does is you down a survivor, any survivor that is 16 meters near that down survivor will suffer from the hindered status effect for 10 seconds, reduce their movement speed by 20%. Which is insanely strong, but also kind of bad, and the perk has a 30% cooldown, but I'll talk more about that as we continue playing. The main reason I'm doing this is because I got a rift and I wanted to do, I got a challenge where I had to use a perk, and I was like, well, I might as well use it. Save the best for last. Every time we hit a survivor that's not the obsession, we get a token which grants us a stackable 5% decreased successful basic attack cooldown. We have Hex of Our Hope. Once we get enough survivors hooked, we can automatically expose them all, and then when they expose them all, we can instant down them, and hopefully we get 5 tokens, we can mori them. And then lastly, we have Infectious Fright. That way I can use Forced Hesitation down someone and know where the next person is that's near me. What Infectious Fright does is when you down survivor, anyone who's in your territory will scream. Randomized Strobes, which makes them move slower, and Brown Noise Generator to obviously make them oblivious. Let's get straight to the game so I can show you how great this build is. Okay, playing on the Noxorama Wreckage. I probably pronounced that wrong, but oh well. This is my first time ever playing this map, and this map is really interesting. At first glance, I feel like it's really big, but when you play it, it doesn't honestly feel as big as it looks sometimes. It's kind of like Toba Landing, the Singularities map. It's really big, but then like when you play on it, it doesn't feel like gigantic. I don't know how to explain it, but that's basically how it is. And that's kind of how this map is for me. I like the inside building a lot. I love it, but I kind of hate the outside part. That's the part that makes me feel like the map is humongous. Like the outside part is humongous. Like, look, that gym right there is so far away from everything else. Yeah, I can get there in a straight line, but it feels like it's just so far because like it's just so much debris and everything everywhere, so it's hard to figure out where you're going. Then I found someone right over here, get a free hit, and then we're gonna try and chase her. But then I thought she was gonna mind game, but she did not. So I was like, oh. So now you're gonna continue going this way. So I'm like, I don't really know these loops very well, but they kind of remind me of Toba Landing. So I know if Toba Landing has some dumb things like that, I know what to expect. So I'm like, okay, this should be a free hit. But there's a pad right here. I'm like, of course there is. Like, why? It was not expecting that. Like I just said, I've been expecting certain things, and that I did not expect. So I knew she can go back over here, but for some reason there's another pad over here. I'm like, why? So I'm like, can I please hit you? And then I got stuck on the side of the rock for a split second, so I missed the hit. I'm like, okay, this is not going well. This is literally supposed to be a chase build that helps me down other survivors, but then instead it ends up being bad. But luckily for me, she runs in the middle of nowhere to make it a free down. And then, what's it called? My perk goes off, but I don't hear anyone scream, so I'm like, excuse me? But because I know that someone was over here, it makes me realize that, okay, someone was definitely over here. And then I remembered something when I was playing. There's a bug in the game, I think, right now, where if you use a perk that makes people scream, it will show someone screaming, but there's like no one even there. Now I don't know if this bug happens on Infectious Fright only, or happens on like every perk that makes you scream. I just know that like that bug exists, and I think that's what happened right there. This person right here is gonna try and go for the rescue, but it's fine with me because I can go for a trade. She's gonna scream and move slower, so I can probably catch her afterwards. But the reason why she's not gonna move slower, but I forgot that, of course, Forced Hesitation, the really weird perk we're using, has a 30-second cooldown. Like it doesn't need it, but it has it. So because of that reason, it basically doesn't work at all when I wanted to use it right there. I look on the left side and I realize that Dwight is a bot, and I'm like, why is Dwight a bot? Like literally, I don't understand. Like I literally got on the game, put down a few drones. I haven't even seen Dwight, and then he just left the game, so that's funny. Now I don't know if he disconnected or he just like, Score Merchant, bye. I'm pretty sure it was Score Merchant, bye, because no one likes playing against my Score Merchant, even though literally I play like a normal killer. I've also been reading a bunch of comments like from people talking about Score Merchant. I love the fact that like we have 5 stacks, I say best of last. This girl kills up on the hook automatically because she's like, yep, I lost a teammate and I bottom my team, I'm not playing anymore. I'm like, I understand. Meanwhile, they're doing the generator across the entire map. So I'm like, okay, well now I don't have to go over here, which is good for my me because I don't want to go on this big part of the map anyway. I don't really like this area or like this map right now. But of course, it's my first time playing the map, so my actual like, what's it called? My thought process on the map isn't really like there yet. I see Dwight and I'm like, okay, well here is the bot I was talking about. So I'm trying to chase Dwight, but I forgot how annoying it is to try and mind game bots and how I didn't break this pallet. So Dwight's gonna go all the way over here and he's gonna go towards this pallet and this window, and I'm like, okay. But whenever bots vault windows, they act really weird. Like they'll vault a window really weirdly, like that. But they will be the best loopers when it comes to pallets and walls. But right there, he vaults the window, but then he just decides to crouch there like that. Like I don't know why they do that. But when it comes to windows, and when it comes to like pallets and vaulting pallets, it is the best thing on the planet. I don't quite understand. That's why bots are like hit or miss. Most of the time they're miss. But anyway, this girl on the hook does not get rescued. And then I look at her as Nicolas Cage. And I'm like, why are you here? Then he decides to do the totem for some reason. I'm sure he just gave up. So that was the first game, by the way. Like literally the fastest game ever. Because they don't, I don't know what they're doing, honestly. They're playing really weird. Then to make it worse, this map is so weird and there's no hooks for some reason why in the main building. But luckily for me, this Nicolas Cage was like, I'm not going to actually struggle correctly. So because of that reason, I was able to hook him on this really far hook because he didn't struggle. So that was the first game, like I said. I don't know what this game was. I just wanted to show y'all, like, the first game did go really weirdly and that it was funny. How we have a Dwight bot and we have two people who are actually pretty good, but then they gave up because they're like, well, it's Skull Merchant and I'm not trying to deal with that. And I'm like, yeah, but I understand. Well, I feel like Dwight was the one that kind of like left the game, and then after that happened, the other two were like, well, because of that reason, at some point me playing anymore because I already have no teammates. I'm like, oh, I understand. Now that I understand, I'm fine with that. But like I said, quick game. Let's go to the second game so I can actually show y'all what the build is supposed to do. Okay, Wrecker's Yard. I love this map as Skull Merchant, so I shouldn't have any problems. So, of course, like I was saying, I've seen a lot of people complaining, or not complaining about Skull Merchant. A lot of the people, like, literally say the same thing. They say one or two things. They say, the fact that Skull Merchant has the ability to hold a game for an hour. By the way, make sure you always go towards your totem and put a drone on there, just to protect it. I saw Scratch Marks, so I thought she went in the locker, but no, she's actually over here. But anyway, they're like, there's two things. So the first thing they say is, the fact that Skull Merchant has the ability to hold a game for an hour is a problem. And I 100% agree with that. So, as a Skull Merchant main, the fact you can do that is bad. Now, of course, there's counterplay to it, but it's like, people just give up or continue staying in the game for some reason. I would just leave the game if that was the case. But that I understand why you complain about, and I'm not mad. But the second thing that annoys me is when they say, yes, I got into a game against a Skull Merchant who made me stay in the game for almost an hour. I'm over here like, okay, now that's a lie. And the reason why I don't believe it is because, first thing, Skull Merchant, and then when they say it too, they say it for like more than one time. Like they make it seem like it happened like at least 4 times where they had the same games where it's like a Skull Merchant and the game lasts for an hour, almost an hour, 50 minutes, more than 40 minutes. Like no, that does not happen. And the reason why I believe them, I'll let down this girl, and we're gonna make her move slower. Not make it worse. We're gonna make everyone else around her move slower, but there's no one else here, so we don't get any value out of this perk. Well, this perk kind of sucks. But anyway, the reason why I didn't believe them was because I was like, if you're telling me every time you play, not every time you play, every time you play, or at least the most time you play against Skull Merchant, they did the hour-long strategy of playing chess, then that's definitely a problem. But I don't believe you because no one does that. First thing, Skull Merchant's pick rate is so low compared to other killers, and will be even lower once they that aliens out. So it's like, I just don't believe them when they say that. Also, luckily for me, he caught up on her, so we're gonna keep it down her pretty fast. As long as I can get towards her fast enough. I really like save the best for last, by the way, on Skull Merchant. I don't really use it very often. Right there, I just swung. You're probably wondering, why did I swing right there when I could have mind gamed the pallet? I had a feeling she knew I was going to try and mind game the pallet, so she was gonna like just sit there and not drop it. But then, because I knew that, I was like, I'm gonna swing because I know you're not gonna drop this down immediately. So I'm just gonna swing anyway. If I get stunned, I get stunned. If I don't get stunned, then we're good. And luckily for me, I did not get stunned. Then someone over here is exposed. I'm like, oh, a free kill. I like that. And I already got 1 stack of Rare Hope. All I need is 2 more stacks, and we can instant down people. And then right here, I'm like, perfect. He is slowed down because of my perk actually going to catch him. And then it hit me. He is not slowed down because this perk has a 30-second cooldown. For some reason, I don't know why it had a 30-second cooldown. It really isn't that good to where it be a 30-second cooldown, but whatever behavior, thank you. And that's the reason why you don't see me use this perk. You're probably, no one luckily has asked me to use the perks that this singularity has, because of all three of them, only one of them, in my opinion, is actually pretty good. And that is, well, they're all good, but like the one that's actually like stands out the most and makes you want to use it the most is machine learning. But even then, machine learning isn't really like game-breaking, really strong, or like so strong to the point where like it makes me what's it called? Really happy. Right there, she slow vaults that vault because she got hindered, and when you're hindered, you automatically will slow vault. Next, she explode. I wanted her to drop this pallet. That's the reason why I went to the window like that. This time, she is gonna drop the pallet instead of just staying there. But yeah, that's the main reason why. And then because I got 3 stacks of Our Hope, I was like, okay, I have 3 stacks of Our Hope. I'm now gonna go after this guy and instant down him because now that I have 3 stacks, it should be a really easy down. And now that I realize they're trying to do my totem probably, so now they realize that wait, he has the Our Hope, they're gonna most likely try to do my totem. So now I'm trying my hardest to get 5 stacks as fast as possible without them destroying my totem. And that is basically what's gonna happen in the rest of this game. And I look and I see something exposed, so I'm pretty sure they know where my totem is and they're gonna try and do it eventually. But all I have to do is follow this girl and kill her because she's really annoying. But yes, I've been seeing a lot of survivors complaining about Scrum Merchant, and she's teabagging me for some reason. And I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know what she was. I don't know if she was teabagging me or she was just like teabagging in general. So because of that down, I know I have Save Best for Last, and also I have Infectious Fright. So I know exactly where to go. So I want to chase this girl and hopefully get a quick down because I can instant out everyone. She can try to mind game this weird blue right here, but because it was on pallet, surprisingly, I'm able to down her before she can get towards this one. So I'm gonna try to mind game this, and she's gonna get stuck on the tree, and hopefully, at least that. So of course we don't hit her, but it's fine because now that that drone up, she should move slower. She bought the pallet, and then we down her. Now we have 2 downs, 1 person hooked, and 1 girl about to go for the rescue. All while we're getting these Save the Best for Last stacks, and also these Our Hope stacks. This build is really good, by the way. I recommend. Well, besides using Force Hesitation, this perk is kind of eh. But other than that, it's a pretty good build so far. But then I look, I'm like, that was some lag, and I know she's gonna run towards this pallet, but she's not gonna make it in time, so we get another down. Everyone is going down like flies. It's amazing. Not to mention we got that 10% haste boost from Our Hope. So because of that reason, we move even faster. So it's like we have so many perks and add-ons that make us move faster, and we have so many perks and add-ons that make them move slower. It's really good, especially on Scrum Merchant. Now all I have to do is protect that totem, and we're good. So I want to try and instant down anyone or down anyone, really. And now that I have 5 stacks, and I can then worry them all, and that's good. The problem is now they know that I have Our Hope, and they're gonna try and cleanse it. But even if they cleanse it, it doesn't really matter because we already have 4 gens. Well, there's only 4 gens, so they have to literally do all these gens in order to try and win. I'm gonna try and chase this person, and when I start chasing him, I kind of regret it. I forgot he is like the best looper on the team, and I'm pretty sure he has made it for this, so he's moving 3% faster. So I'm like worried, but luckily for me, 1 person dies on the hook, so I don't have to worry about them, and now we only have to deal with 3 people. But because of the fact that I am so chasing this person instead of going after someone else, knowing he's the best looper, he busts that window, by the way, and I'm like, why aren't you exposed? I mean, why aren't you hindered? Then he uses that hard. I'm like, yeah, I knew it. I was kind of mad at myself because I had a feeling he had that hard, but there's nothing I can do about it. That was a slow vault, but there's nothing I can do about it. Again, he's too far away from me. Even when you make survivors move 5% slower, made for this is a really strong perk. So it is really annoying. And his movement's really good, so it's like really bad for me. And I'm bad. So that's also a problem. So now I'm trying to hit this person. I know I can hit him before he gets to this pallet probably, but sadly I cannot. So I'm like, huh. So I should have broke that pallet right there, but I chose not to. Then I look and I see 2 people over there on my drone, on my totem, and I'm like, oh no, they better get that. Now luckily for me, one of them's gonna probably get exposed before they can get out. And I was right. But then I realized that she's not exposed. What's it called? She got exposed, but she's not exposed. I chased the wrong person, so I'm like, great. Now I chased this girl who's not exposed. And I'm just really losing this game at the last second. But the reason why I'm not worried about it is because of this reason. I got stung by a pallet. Because of the fact that, like I said, they still have to do 4 gens. Like, I haven't even protected gens all game before someone says, oh my god, Scrum Merchant protecting gens. Like, literally, I've been playing the game like normal. And when I play the game like normal, I get survivors literally like this. Doing absolutely nothing. And exposing themselves. I don't know why he did that, but whatever. So I was like, well, I'm gonna try to chase this guy, cause I know he's over here, but I don't end up chasing him because I realize that it's more important to probably just down this girl and get out the game. This is what I'm telling y'all, like, I get survivors like this. But then, I get really good survivors, but then they just give up. That's what I really get, actually. I get really good survivors who give up because they can't beat my score merchant, which is not surprising. And then they're the same ones who report me for harassment, and the same ones who will complain that score merchant's too strong, or the ones that are like my favorite people. Yeah, I've had like 5 games with score merchant lasted an hour. No, you have not. You're only saying that because someone else said that and you're just trying to say the same thing they're saying. You really have not had that. Like, that was the thing I kept reading. Because basically the guy commented, well, he made a post, and his post was, what killer should remove from the game? There were 4 options, and one of them was Score Merchant. Of course, Score Merchant got picked the highest. The second one was Trickster. And I was surprised, I forgot. Survivors, Trickster has like no counterplay when it comes to certain loops, I've heard. And I actually, so if you don't know this, the killer I play the most, I play Trickster. Trickster was my main before Score Merchant came out. I played Trickster only. He looked really cool, and people were saying he was bad, and I was trying to prove him wrong. I have a lot of fun playing Trickster. He is really good. And I can definitely attest to the fact that there are some situations where if you just have good aim, and not even really good aim, because you have 40 times, you have like 20 times you can miss, all you have to do is land 12 shots, and you're good. If you have good aim, you can kill all survivors. Oh, this guy right here, he didn't know I was coming from because he's oblivious, so he got caught off guard, and now because that really can finally kill him on the hook. Thankfully, he is finally dead. Then this girl runs towards me and she's like, kill me. I'm like, yes ma'am, I got you. I'm telling you, it's always survivors like this that complain. Don't know why I guess like their logic is, there's 4 gens left and I'm fighting against, there's 4 gens left and there's 2 people, 1 person dead on hook. So I might as well just give up, and that's what she does. So I'm like, okay. So now I gotta try and find this last survivor, which is probably not gonna happen. So now I'm gonna have to find the hatch. And then when I find the hatch, I'm going to have to put drones on both exit gates and try and wait for her to get back. But yes, if you have any, tell me in the comments, guys, what's your worst and best score merchant like game, playing as survivor and playing as killer, because when I play as killer, I have really good games, except for the one where people like leave the game because they just give up on getting to my score merchant, which a lot of people do that. Or I have a game, and when I'm playing as survivor, I only play against score merchant really when she at first came out, and then ever since then I don't get any score merchants because, like I said, score merchant pick rate is not high. Like, she is not picked ever. She really is not picked that much. So the fact that like all these people keep talking about how they got into all these hour-long games just really confuses me. And then in the comments, like, people are saying, y'all complain about score merchant too much. Literally, I've had so many score merchant games as killer and survivor where I play as killer, I play as her normally, and as survivor, I have a normal just game against a score merchant. Like, there's no 3-genning, there's no camping, anything. It's a normal game. I'm like, yeah, because most score merchants play like normal. It's just survivors don't like losing the score merchant, and then they hit you with the, oh my gosh, she is camping the gens and 3-genning. Like, no, she really isn't. She's just playing better, but then also happens to be playing score merchant, so as a result you lose, and then you complain. Like I showed y'all on my previous video, I was fighting a streamer and I beat his team, and then I got reported. And then also during the video someone said that I was setting up my 3-gen, but in reality I wasn't, because I wasn't. But that's just like a little score merchant rant. I'm not trying to like complain about score merchant or whatever. It is annoying when you hear people talk about your like favorite killer in a negative way, but then like most of the time it's not even anything serious. Like, they're really not talking about anything important. They're just complaining about everything. But anyway, this girl right here is gonna give up, and she's like, I'm going to blind you. And then the NT's like, let me eat your soul. And I'm like, yes. And the drone's like, huh, this is cool. So we killed every single survivor as planned, which is not really surprising. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sorry about the score merchant rant. I feel like every video now I just complain about I complain about people complaining about Skull Merchant, which is kind of funny, but that's how I am when I like the killer a lot. So, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any builds, let me know in the comments, and also let me know what your favorite / best thing about Skull Merchant is, or your least favorite thing about Skull Merchant, so I can have it in the next video when I talk about Skull Merchant again. Have a nice day, guys.